Yep, it's this guy again, TTBN Gaming. What has he got to say about Kotaku? I can't wait to hear this. This intro, by the way, is absolutely priceless. Never fails to elicit a smile on my face.
Hi, it's me, your girlfriend or boyfriend or they friend's favorite content creator.
Your girlfriend, your boyfriend, the they friend, your favorite content creator. Because he can't just be modest and say whatever he has to say at the beginning. It's like, oh, come on, I'm your favorite. So what does he say? Very briefly, only one like. Oh, dude, that is dreadful. 4 views. Oh my God.
So when you have, places like Kotaku, which I know elicits such a strong reaction for a certain subset of people, but hopefully that subgroup of people aren't my audience.
So already this guy is eliminating people that are drawn to the clickbait headline about Kotaku. No Baldur's Gate 4. Has this guy even played Baldur's Gate at all? I actually thought this was his backdrop, and then I realized when I looked at his microphone stand very closely, he's using a green screen. Now, to be fair, I used a green screen when I first started out, but that was just due to having very bad surroundings, and the cockroaches weren't happy about that at all. But on this guy's point, what's he talking about? Does he not know who Alyssa McCante is, my new BFF? Of course not. He's pleading ignorance. One thing he touches on here, though, is that Kotaku are planning to release 50 video game guides a week, starting as soon as possible, because their editor-in-chief suddenly quit a few days ago. So instead of writing about video games, it's now providing a guide on how to play a certain game like Elden Ring, when in fact, video game guides were very popular back in the day. You can go on GameTrailers.com, I believe was where you could find them. Obviously now with YouTube, just look up a certain game you're after, and someone's going to give you a full-on step-by-step process on how to get your character or characters from A to B. So Kotaku are just basically shooting themselves in the foot. And I think, and I'm being very generous when I say this, they'll probably be out of business by the end of 2024. I'm going to say around December, just before Christmas. I'm picking a date, maybe December the 7th. So we'll see if my prediction is correct. But let's go to the end of this video, because my God, it is absolutely, this is probably the funniest, cringiest sign-off I've ever heard and seen.
You like my face and my very, very nice voice. But in all seriousness, this is
I would like to do a big fat doo-doo on your face, perhaps.
The video. So like, comment, share, subscribe, worship. A little bit of worship. Just a little bit of praise.
Is this guy on a booty cruise? Is he on a booty call? Is he doing an All Saints? A little praise, a little worship. Oh, please do that. Oh gosh. That is not how you win a brand new audience over, my dear disillusioned friend. And speaking of all things ball busting,
let him come.
He can't.
Is that how you describe your job, Cliff?
What, carrying his load? Yeah, it's about right.
Oh!
Okay, you can come.
I'm coming for you, boy. I'm coming hard.
I'm like getting the feeling of coming in the gym. I'm getting the feeling of coming at home. I'm getting the feeling.
In the ass end of space, even aliens watch Jason King on Jason Dumbass King on Kung Fu Hot Dog. Duke Nukem likes this guy.
Sexism outrage! Oh!
So here we go, folks. At the time of recording this video, the Steam curator page, courtesy of Brutus Rambo, currently stands at 330,464 followers. The latest update about this is that Grums and Brutus have asked game developers to reach out to them anonymously if they've had any workings with Sweet Baby Stink and to give them some hardcore receipts of what's been going on. Now, are they going to come forth? Are they going to have their identities protected? Who knows? But I think it's a very interesting time. Of course, now, when we talk about Stellar Blade and how Alex Battaglia on Digital Foundry ignited a debate about the over-attractiveness of a female in a video game. It was honestly one of the most laughable things I'd actually seen on that channel. Even Richie Ledbetter was like, you know what, dude? I don't really see your point, especially when he slam dunked him on Forspoken and said, I don't quite get what that game is all about. Don't believe me? Here's the clip.
So, you know, that's around that mark. It's not too surprising if it does actually end up going for that. The one thing, I know you were talking about the character from a bygone era. I do think the character model was actually like very distracting in not a good way, because like with the camera angles chosen, it just felt like this game seems like a game that came out in like 002 in terms of its, you know, like character design. It's like a bit old and not flattering, I don't think, for a modern audience. In comparison to something like Forspoken, which has, you know, I mean, yes, it has much more realistic looking character designs. It's not these hyper proportioned something or another's, but it also seemed, I don't know, a bit more grounded in a way that I found much more appealing than what we saw here.
From a general standpoint, I do agree with you, but I do think Project Eve, when it comes to facial construction, it does have some merit though, because the characters look very different. It's just that once you go, you know, neck down, there's a lot of issues on display.
That's the problem. Yeah, that's the problem.
Oh dear. Okay, well look, Alex, you were talking about Forspoken. Again, it was a game that was shown quite early on in the showcase. I don't really quite know what to make of it. But why don't you tell us what you think about it?
Well, of course now, when Alex Battaglia talked about, oh, well, you know, Stellar Blade, it's got outdated gameplay graphics because it reminds me of 2002. What did I decide to do? Go back to that year, courtesy of the internet, and Replay Games, which is a very good website, showed you here what were the best-selling games and the most popular games in 2002. Star Wars, Racer Revenge, State of Emergency, Shadow Man 2, and of course, when you talk about a lack of diversity and inclusion in video games, what do you have here? Pac-Man World 2, Star Wars Jedi Starfighter, Eve of Extinction, Circus Maximus, and of course another game I haven't mentioned here, but I will be talking about in a very short while, of course, would be Splinter Cell, with the great Sam Fisher in his debut title. Of course, right now I'm playing Splinter Cell Blacklist. Where Eric Johnson, the actor, stood in for a very then sick Michael Ironside, who was recovering from throat cancer. And I think Mr. Johnson was lambasted for his portrayal and performance as Mr. Fisher. I thought he did a very good job, actually.
He's not trying to be Michael Ironside. He's not trying to be a Sam Fisher from the past.
I think the only thing the game was at odds with itself was the fact that Eric Johnson was a younger version of Sam, and in the game he's got a younger daughter, so they were almost the same age in terms of their vocal performances. And of course Michael Ironside is like the gruff general type of dude, and that's what you kind of wanted with the father and daughter relationship. But overall, it's great to start replaying that game again. I absolutely love it, but I do dread to think what the remake from Ubisoft is going to even be like. So here we go with Bad Robot. Yes, the same Bad Robot, helmed and headlined by J.J. Abrams, the man who's undoubtedly the king of cinematic flaring in your face. The old lens blur, the old lens flare. Yes, but this is his team of gaming developers. Quite a lot if you ask me, headlined by the very good-looking Miss Anita Sweet. She's the CEO, of course, and for somebody, not Miss Sweet, of course, but J.J. Abrams famously said in 2020, no more white privilege for people who support or don't support BLM. But if you look at the lineup here, there's quite a nice sea of Caucasian persuasions amongst another sea of diversity. So for somebody who said that, it's interesting that his team are probably made up of people who actually have a thing called talent. Do you hear me, you hackers out there? Sweet Baby Inc., Black Girl Gamers, and other people alike? But yeah, you have all these folks, but again, all pretty faces, all smiling, but what have they delivered? Not much from the looks of it. At the moment, their only contribution to the video gaming world, because Hollywood failed to sniff the glue in 2002, and before that, when video games were laughed at, it was like, oh, that's a kid's pastime. It's definitely not a thing that adults want to play, despite the irony that adults were creating these games anyway, which I found really absolutely hilarious. By just going back to this, Silent Hill Ascension is getting lambasted online because people don't like the gameplay, it's clunky, the monster designs are questionable, the monster designs created by Bad Robot Games. So we'll see what kind of a future they have as a gaming company. They've really got to get off the starting block and start making video games, but knowing the stance that J.J. Abrams takes when he signs himself up with BLM, you've got to wonder if that kind of cringy messaging will be entering their titles in the future if they get off the ground, but who knows. And just going back to something that Sean Pierre at GDC 2024 spoke of yesterday while he was all nervously twitching on that podium, about the greed of CEOs at video game companies. Well, I got news for you, Mr. Pierre. Your impassioned speech is not going to do much to change that landscape. Andrew Wilson has been the CEO of Electronic Arts Games since 2013, and since 2021, he's now the chairman. Is that guy a gamer? No. Would you go out with him for a beer and a few pizzas? No. Phil Spencer, I would, because Phil, at least compared to Andrew, is a gamer. He's got his own gamer tag. He joins other players online. But then again, Xbox, as many of my subscribers have told me already, are doubling down on the wokey dokey, which is a shame when you consider how Microsoft Studios started out back in the day with Halo and Gears of War.
Putting ads in subways that animate. They're going to put a 150 foot by 40 foot banner on the side of the LA Convention Center.
They were a video game studio that you could actually see was a really great competitor to PlayStation. If I was the alternate Andrew Wilson in a different universe, and say like a game like Battlefield Bad Company 2 came out and it was a resounding success. Everybody liked the cast and the crew who from the first game. Their chemistry was better, the mechanics were just more refined, but they never made a number 3. Like, if that was me, I was saying, like, guys, right, I've got all this pile of money right here in front of me. Go and make a Bad Company 3. Okay, do that, get the same cast, increase their salaries, give us a longer gameplay campaign. Just give us all of that. You know, we'll get some really good licensed music. And that's the problem. CEOs don't care about their staff.
Opportunities for us to be acquisitive, we would of course look at those.
It's Thursday.
But the West is disintegrating, folks, while the East continues to rise and rise. Well, of course, now, folks, we get to Skull and Bones. I haven't talked about this much on my channel, but it's been doing atrociously bad. I mean, the player count is less than 1 million online. Rad Brad here is a gaming guy I've been following since 2012. This is what he encountered, or what I looked at, rather.
Next. Let's see. Target too far. Hold on.
I mean, this is like this is like a game that was 10 years in development from Ubisoft Singapore, and I believe they made an early Splinter Cell game as well, actually. And I'm not joking, the animation looks bad.
Now neutral. Okay.
I mean, the flapping in the sails looks awful.
Yeah, I feel like these should be fine. Oh wait, hold on.
So they're trying to do a different style of mechanics of pirate battles compared to the actual next great game I'm going to show you very quickly, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I mean, this is just like the most celebrated of the those legacy titles so far, but this is 2013. Look at this. Look how much more immersive and exciting these ship battles actually are. And I dread to think that Ubisoft are planning to remake this game. I don't know if they're going to change the lead protagonist to a different skin tone, maybe make Anne Bonny less sexy. I have no idea, but it's I'm not looking forward to that. Just all you got to do is buy yourself a physical copy of this game and keep it forever and ever. Can't wait. But Ubisoft, they're a bit of a dog shit company at the moment as well, so I have no high hopes for what they're going to do in future. But of course now, folks, if you're paying rather close attention at the beginning when I was looking at that 2002 list of video games, there was one title that stuck out to me for two very obvious reasons. It is Pirates, The Legend of Black Cat. And here she is. Can we just give a round of applause to Westwood Studios, who designed this female character in mind? The absolute jiggly juggly, bouncy wouncy boob physics. I mean, honestly, the amount of depth and research they took to make this vision come to life only now makes me want to buy this video game as soon as possible.
To Camp Xbox. Pirates and video games are two elements that have worked together since the beginning of the industry. From the early days of the
I like the combat actually, it looks really good.
To the grand online adventure of Sea of Thieves, nothing captures freedom and fun more than sailing the high seas and looking for buried treasure. There are...
And speaking of buried treasure, where do you think her treasure chests might be?
No.
Oh no. I'm supposed to react to a trailer now, an old trailer from 1965, and look what I'm plagued with. More diversity in an ad I don't need to see.
Baileys.
Yeah, of course you do drink Baileys, don't you, loves? Right, here we go. So this is Village of the Giants, 1965. You're probably wondering why you're reacting to this movie trailer, Jace. Well, it might give you some credence as to the nature of my video channel. Oh yeah!
This is just the beginning of the wildest, weirdest adventure you've ever seen.
Oh no, God, I hate spiders.
Now,
Oh,
anything goes.
hello, Mama.
And everything grows. And this is where the fun really begins.
I wonder if this makes everything grow.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
If I want to try some of this stuff, just don't you try and stop me, understand?
And try it they did.
Wow, no way. Okay, right. We could be going into dangerous territory here, folks. Stop it. Oh, wow. H.G. Wells?
Sure.
Wow.
We are going to take over this town. Now, first of all, there's going to be a 9 o'clock curfew for all adults.
The amount of jokes I can come out with right now regarding appendages and all other assorted goodies.
It's wild. It's way out. It's Village of the Giants.
Well, I can honestly say I had no idea this film existed. The fact that I dreamed up the idea of popping out of ladies' breasts using special effects, and they were doing it back in 1965. God, I loved you back then, Hollywood. This is... I need to get this movie on Blu-ray. Yeah, I will be staring as well.
Not, little man. We're just gonna have to show you what's good for you. That's all.
Maybe we don't like your club either.
You're in it anyway.
See what happens when young rebels explode 30 feet tall. Village of the Giants.
There's a bit of sadomasochism going in this trailer. I can tell. Love the music. Well, there you have it, folks. Village of the Giants with giant titties and willies as well. So on that one, hope you enjoyed this video today. Yes, of course, inevitably, I can't even get away these days without mentioning Sweet Baby Stink, but that's how it goes. And on that one, and I know my sign just down below has vanished for some reason. I think it got overheated by that boob exposure. If you enjoyed this video today, make sure you give it a like, smash that subscribe and like buttons. And if I were you, and if you were me, ding, 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 ding. You better catch me catching you on the next video.
Oh dear. Okay, well look, Alex, you were talking about Forspoken. Again, it was a game that was shown quite early on in the showcase. I don't really quite know what to make of it.
Rolling down to Dallas, my rules provide no palace. Off to New Orleans or who knows where. Places new and ladies too. I'm BJ McKay and this is my best friend.